What's up everyone, welcome back to another stream. How's everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another pre-market analysis. So this is an opportunity for us to look at the market together to try to identify April setups for tomorrow's session, right? So I analyze different markets from FX, the US indices, commodities between gold, silver and oil, and a little bit of crypto as well between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yeah, the main goal is just to look for the best opportunity for tomorrow, or a few of the best opportunities for tomorrow. Paying attention also to the news to see if there's any catalyst that can affect the market. So if you are new, feel free to subscribe, feel free to let me know in the chat as well what kind of assets you are looking for and what kind of levels you think that the price will react from, and you're going to have an opportunity. What direction do you think also price is going to move towards to, we can analyze the market together. So here we are. So yes, so today we had unemployment in the UK. It managed to decrease the unemployment rate from 4.1% to 4%, even though the number of the claimant count actually was higher than expected. So this is a kind of a strange one. Like we had more people going for benefits, however the unemployment actually decreased to 4%. Then you had CPI in Canada, minus 0.4% on a monthly basis, so it was even lower than expected initially. So that's interesting, and this is where we are at this point in Canada. And tomorrow we have CPI as well in the UK. Like again, expected the core to, or the normal CPI to be at 1.9, and the core to be at 3.4. Let's see if this data is going to be in alignment with what is expected, and maybe also the Bank of England is looking to see this data in order to decide if what the rate cut is he going to do next time they meet. So they paused last time, if not mistaken, but the odds are and the expectation is for the next meeting to be a rate cut. 25 basis points, 50 basis points, we'll see what's going to happen. And then the biggest catalyst is going to be on Thursday when you have the ECB. So that's for tomorrow's session that you're going to looking at the ECB and where the euro pairs are by then. So again, tomorrow biggest one is going to be CPI in UK straight away at the 7 AM UK time. So yeah, let me know guys what you think, what's going to happen on the pound. All right, so in terms of what we're looking on the dollar, right? So again, dollar has been bullish since the beginning of October, basically. Since the last day of September, that has been moving to the upside. You can see how many bullish daily candles we have in here. And today, it's one of the first times that it didn't really manage to create a new high for now. And we have been looking for this potential retracement on the dollar, right? So yesterday, we actually looked at this and we potentially started to look for a turn. Again, as a target, I'm still looking eventually for price to fill all this price in here. But indeed, there was still this demand zone in here left behind. Aside from that, there's really not much going on. There's maybe a level left behind in here. But aside from that, price is going to be feel free to move to the downside now when it breaks these walls or breaks this structure in here. I think price finally is going to be free to do this. So that's an opportunity that I will continue to look for. Interesting enough, dollar index actually created a really nice move in here in the morning. However, was not really, I didn't like that the euro dollar didn't broke the low this morning, which is about to break if not mistaken, or just broke it. Like I was waiting for the euro dollar actually to break that low before looking for longs. It didn't this morning. It actually started to move to the upside, and now I think now in the evening it just broke the low. It's literally really close to break that low. So that's a better level for me to start looking for longs on the euro dollar. In regards to the dollar index, I can still see price making maybe another high in here. All right, I'm still looking for price to get slightly a little bit higher, or then eventually into the next structure in there. Okay, but at this point, yes, eventually I'm expecting to see this retracement in here on the dollar index with the target again to go and fill all this price in there. So it's going to be from here, it's going to be slightly higher. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm going to be waiting to see where price is going to be at tomorrow morning for the London Open, but that's going to be a little bit of the buys, and again the target is that one. So that would be this doesn't change absolutely anything from yesterday in terms of what we're going to be looking for. And again, it's going to be another day where we're going to have news in the UK, not really any news in regards to the US dollar, which means that we can see a continuation of a small divergence between a move on the pound versus the euro, right? They may move slightly different, just as it did a little bit today. There was a little bit more strength on the pound today and a bit more weakness on the euro, and maybe that is going to continue tomorrow with the CPI news, expecting some volatility in the pound dollar, pound pairs. And then even on Thursday, expecting more volatility, of course, on the euro pairs with the ECB press conference, which can also create a little bit of a divergence between the euro and the pound. And again, because of that, there's maybe an opportunity to look for opportunities actually on the euro pound in here. So yeah, nothing really changed. Again, you'll see if this level is going to hold or not. It's still respecting that level, so that's valid. And yeah, we'll see. But can still create new highs. I'm totally okay with it in there. Now, the US indices, right? There was a really big move to the downside. We continue to be in this first week of Q3 earnings season. Again, I think the data has been better than expected, or beating the expectations. But we start to see some sell pressure in here on the indices, right? So it started with the Dow, then follow up with the S&P and the Nasdaq, making a big move to the downside. Is this going to be the top? Maybe it's going to be, maybe not. Not really sure yet in here in terms of the S&P. The way price moved a little bit to the upside. Was there any kind of liquidity being created? We did manage to break this low. Price just retested. Yeah, we did create that high in there. We'll see. Again, I'm not really sure if this is going to be the top or not, or price eventually is going to continue to fall to find more buy pressure once it comes a little bit more to the downside, somewhere around this structure. When we do have also this structure just a little bit higher, that price can start finding some buy pressure as well, right? So starting from this level, price can start already seeing some buy pressure. Price is compressing now in a little bit in here. Yes, it did left behind a good level. So that's something that we always want to pay attention to when you're looking for price to potentially create a top or a bottom. You want to see fresh levels left behind at those levels, like at the highs, for example. Right, so we create a high or what could eventually become a top. Like, you want to see some fresh levels being created and not really being touched on the way down. Right, so because those levels can eventually in the future hold price down. If price all of a sudden creates kind of a high, creates a structure, moves downside, but price goes already straight away there, right, and then creates another one, price goes there. Meanwhile, you are already moving in a compression way to the downside, which means when price comes back, there's no orders left behind in here, which means that price can not really just move to the upside, break this high, and find a new set of sell orders above that high. Right, that's something to bear in mind. Now, looking in here, like as you can see, price kind of created that one, but price got really close to it, or even reacted from it. Maybe created from the lower edge and not really from the extreme. Like, this is the zone that I'm talking about. You can see price went down, already reacted a little bit from here. There was another level that basically was created a little bit with the break to the downside, but price already retested that level and then kind of retested a little bit. And this is basically the last zone in here that you can look for. Right, so that's perhaps where price eventually can react from. There's maybe that small zone in here as well that price can still react, because this is the moment where price actually managed to break out these lows. That's basically the decision point. Price retraced, didn't really react from it, just reacted from the support resistance level, and then start moving to downside. Like, so in here and here, this one is basically touched unless you are looking for the extreme in there. Right, so those are just a few zones that we can start tracking, because eventually in the future, that's where price is going to be aiming to go towards to and potentially react from it and move to the downside after that. Again, it depends also where price is going to be reacting from the lows, to see if you do manage to break any level to the downside or not. If you just respect an important level, then price could move to the upside and create new highs. This level in here can be interesting as well. Price is just really getting really close to it. This will never reacted from it. So you may have a little bit of a reaction, even though the structure is a little bit lower. But yeah, that's something just to bear in mind when you're looking for a potential high to be created that becomes a high becoming a top. Just call it like that, or expecting potentially a double top to be created. So that's what we have in here on the S&P. All right, so let's see. We do definitely need to break some walls, some structure to downside to give a bit more importance to this top. At this point, I'm still not really considering it because I don't really see still the liquidity around it for price to just turn like that. And Nasdaq, like Nasdaq, we have been mentioning several times that there was still orders left behind at these highs when price created this high here. So that's something that we are looking for, and that's where basically price has been reacting. Now we do have this structure in here on Nasdaq, and it's a structure that I usually like to see, all right, which is starting to create kind of a horizontal range. We do have a break to the downside in here. Price then respected that level, so it's starting to become bullish. And then you have actually this accumulation of low of highs in here. Like you created one high, then kind of second, third, kind of a sequence of there, which starts to attract more sales in here, which becomes a perfect level to look for reversal. Price went up, respected the structure, and then created the move to the downside. Now, yes, price could actually add back down a little bit more decisive, maybe getting a little bit closer to the zone above it, but it didn't. It was enough, right? There was a little bit of space in there, and this fresh supply today, where price actually ended up reacting from, and price had already starting to break some lows as well in here. As you can see, basically price starting to break to the downside. It makes a initial leg down and then retraces, and it goes like basically becoming this structure in here in the middle, the zone. Basically price goes down first, fakes out into that level, and then moves downside. Again, it's similar to the pattern. It's exactly something that we like to see as well for a potential reversal setup, a pattern in here. So really good move in here on the Nasdaq. Now, is this going to be the top? We'll see. Again, same story. We can start looking inside this level if price has the intention to retrace to here. If you are going to be looking for any sell still underneath this level, or eventually going to look for price to fake out all these highs and then potentially move to the downside. Like, where is the target now? Like, basically aiming all the way through. This is a little bit of a demand zone, but you could go. Like, there's not really much going on in here. This will already react from that demand zone. There's maybe the extreme a little bit underneath that price could still react from. I mean, about around this level. Aside from that, everything is compressed, and then price already looking for to go all the way into here. Like, so if you do manage to break somewhere around kind of below this level, I do think that then price is free to go closer to that zone. It could fake out first and then maybe have a little bit of retracement, and from somewhere around this level potentially you could go again to the downside. All right, so that's a little bit of what you could look at in here on the Nasdaq. Dow as well, it was one of the first ones that started to make this big move to downside after faking out again those highs in here. Maybe have some kind of trend line going on at around this level. Basically that's where price paused and was respecting, but it may just continue to move to downside now, where the next level is going to be somewhere in here, right after breaking these lows. Somewhere into that level can be interesting. Again, price respected that level, so we made a break to downside, retested, and then the big sell-off in here. So yeah, we'll see if this is going to be also the top or not. And then we have also DAX, which we were considering that possibility of being just a kind of a fake out of this all-time high and starting to see some sell pressure, and it's happening again. Again, you have the same pattern being played in here. A little bit of structure, price breaks downside, fakes out, and then moves to the downside in here, where at this point there's maybe still left orders at around that level in there on the DAX, right? So that's a potential new sell opportunity somewhere around here, and price can fake out these highs, react from there, and move to the downside whenever it wants to come back at this level. All right, so that's a little bit of a zone that we can look for. So that's something to look at. Again, you're looking for price to have a little bit of a reaction from here. It's basically where it's reacting. So this will never reacted from the demand that managed to break that high. So yeah, just keeping an eye on this one to see what can happen, and if you're going to start seeing even more sell pressure on the DAX in here, again with potential reaction from here or from there as well. Even though I think there's already a reaction from here. Yeah, I think there's maybe already maybe not. Yeah, maybe that high maybe haven't really reacted from there. All right, that's a nice move. So the indices are moving, turning bearish today in here. Crypto, interesting enough, like we had a really big momentum to the upside and a big sell off, and now price resuming the move to the upside again. It looks like that Bitcoin and crypto in general are starting to see some bullish momentum. That's basically throughout this week already, with the target at this point getting closer to that 69, close to 70k. Basically, that's the direction that we are looking for. Nice reaction here. We did manage to fake out these lows, but just reacted from the fresh demand zone, and now price is free to go and take this high and getting a little bit closer to that level in here. Ethereum a bit more bearish, but it's the same thing. It's now reacting from this level that was still fresh and finding some more buy pressure to the upside. Basically, this level was created after the break of this, so it's always important that structure that is created after a break of an important high or low. And there you go. Price basically reacting from a little bit of this extreme. We'll see on Ethereum if price will have enough momentum to break this high and start moving to the upside in here. Looking at the currency indexes and starting with the euro index as well, this is another pair that we pay attention to, mostly for tomorrow. Okay, in anticipation for the ECB, I'm going to literally analyze in detail euro index to see where we're going to be at, because this can create a great bias what to expect for the ECB. And we are retesting these lows several times by now. Again, I'm still a little bit more bearish in here, even though we have been trading within this range throughout all this year in 2024. But I could still see a little bit more selling pressure and price getting a little bit closer to this level potentially before moving to the upside, right? And again, the importance of this with ECB, basically this was one ECB, I think back in July or something like that. And then the other one in September, it was somewhere in here, I think, right? So as you can see, it creates new cycles around ECB. And that's basically what you're going to be paying attention to as well in here. But that's mostly for tomorrow's analysis. And then the end index, right, which surprised me in here. I actually cut my short on the euro yen too early. I was short yesterday, just got kind of first target, but I decided to close everything because I saw this break to the downside. Like we did manage to break below this level. I thought that from here, yen index will be a little bit more ready to go further down, a little bit closer to this level. So I saw dollar yen, pound yen, and so on, a few yen pairs actually breaking some structure, expecting a bit more of momentum. But no, apparently everything that happened was just a fake out and price just moved to the upside. And then there was actually a nice move in here. Again, this was overnight, so no chance for me to trade it. It was a nice move, break of trend line, retest of the demand zone, and price now moving to the upside to fill potentially this range. There's maybe a little bit more of buy pressure in here, right? But yes, now I did manage to cut my short on euro yen way too early yesterday. Price moved much more to the downside overnight. Yeah, so interesting. Potentially can have a continuation in here and retesting those highs on the yen index, which is going to create more sell pressure on the other yen pairs in here. So yeah, that's just something to look at in here. Yeah, potentially could have something like that in here. Now, looking at the individual currency pairs. So in starting with the euro dollar, to see if we did manage already to break below this or not. Apparently we haven't just yet. And yeah, so that's something to pay attention. So we haven't really managed to take the low. We're still respecting it. And the low that I mentioned is that one on the left side, right? So it's this one in here, created back on the 8th of August. I want to see this low being taken to create a little bit of liquidity and then price moving to the upside. Now what we have is again a lot of compression, and today we actually managed to break some highs. Like we did manage to break in here, and we also broke that one, which I like to see it. Okay, I really like to see one of the last things before price moving down to break a high. That's a really bullish momentum or bullish bias that I look for before a reversal. Right now, yes, I still want to see this low being taken. I'm not going to go long until I see that low being taken, and that maybe for tomorrow we can perhaps just retest this level and move to the upside after that. And that goes in alignment with looking for the euro, for the yen, for the dollar index, sorry, to the downside. So I really like it. This is for me definitely an engulf to the upside. So we had one in general, okay, but then we have another one in here. You start having all this compression, like, which means that at this point, one of the targets to look for eventually is that one, and then it's going to be to fill all that range in there, similar to the same range on the dollar index. But before that, again, I want to see first euro taking these lows, and then yes, and then it could move to the upside again. Perhaps can be tomorrow the move that we can expect in here. So that's for the euro dollar. We'll see. After taking the lows, again, you need PA to see price actually faking out the low and breaking back up. Look for that long. Otherwise, if price just breaks the low and starts creating momentum, like maybe it breaks the low but just keep respecting this structure and just moves to downside, then I'm not going to really fight that, and perhaps you can just go and move to downside. But yes, at this point, I really want to see this low being taken in here. Pound dollar as well did manage to break a high, right? This is one of the first highs that we see pound dollar managing to break. At this point, has been respecting every single structure in here, so we have been trading within this range for a long time. Yesterday we mentioned exactly that. So initially you had a zone in here because these lows never reacted from it, and then you have a new zone in here, which is basically where price reacted this morning, right? The right nice move with around the unemployment as well news that came out in the UK. Pound dollar created this PA around London Open as well and moved to the upside, and now we finally have a break to the upside in here on the pound dollar. So that's an engulf to the upside, which means that perhaps we can finally make a new leg down. All right, we could have one last fake out of all this structure, maybe even creating a bit more momentum to the downside, and then finally have something like this happening and moving upwards. All right, so that could be a possibility. I would actually like to see all this structure in here, all these lows in here being faked out. Now that you have an engulf up, just take all these lows and then you start looking to the upside. Now question mark is, are you going to also fake out this low, right? That's the question mark in here, or price will just keep respecting this structure in there. Is there anything in here that is still fresh on the pound dollar? Is there anything in here? Perhaps there is, and if there is, maybe price will just respect that and move to the upside. So that's something to bear in mind in here, in case price actually still wants to respect something in here and move to the upside. Perhaps it could, okay? And then all of a sudden, the next target that you're going to be aiming for after price breaking this high again, you're looking for price to go and react from the, or fill this range in here, right? And with potential to even go higher than this and then start moving there. But at least first that level, it's a target that I'll be looking for now that we finally managed to break above this this structure in here. Yeah, so that's definitely something to bear in mind in here on the pound dollar. Euro pound, which is one that we have been looking for as well, right? Because of those news and perhaps the divergence that you can see across the euro and the pound. Maybe that's going to create some potential volatility or momentum on the euro pound. So we'll see. We are still reacting a little bit from this demand zone. All right, price reacted a little bit from here, is compressing quite a lot. There's not exactly a break to the upside just yet, so price is respecting the previous highs, but you can see the strong compression that the euro pound is creating, which eventually could go with a news event. For example, we could fill all this price, like we could make literally a move like this quickly with the news tomorrow with the CPI, and then perhaps price could go to downside. With a move to the upside in here, we are looking for the pound dollar to move down, which again could fake out those lows before moving to the upside. So that could be a possibility in here, just similar to what we have on the euro pound. All right, next we go to the Aussie. Again, Aussie is another one, and it's finally breaking, right? So I mentioned this level. I didn't really want to look for longs within this structure, and now that price is finally breaking this level, I'm going to start looking for potential longs, even though my level or my favorite level is still below that structure. Okay, I still want to see if Aussie dollar going a little bit more to downside. I do like the compression that we are seeing in here. We didn't really manage to break above these highs. We don't really have any proper break to the upside just yet in here, but we finally start breaking this structure, right? It was a really strong level of support that was created in here, and now we are breaking it. So again, great, maybe a little bit more of momentum before potentially price going higher. Again, that level can be interesting. Otherwise, price may even continue to move to downside. All right, maybe this could be also some sort of accumulation here for price now to gain momentum to the downside. It's possible, but yeah, at this point, I really want to see price getting closer to here. And then, yes, with good PI, perhaps we can finally go to the upside, maybe even breaking this trend line in here, and then go, right? So that could be a possibility on the Aussie dollar, something to pay attention to. New Zealand, yeah, New Zealand is back to the downside again. Can you still have that level? Price keeps respecting this demand zone. New Zealand is another one that I still like the idea of price again going a little bit more further down a bit closer to that structure before moving to the upside. So that's something that I want to see as well. Perhaps we could do something like this and go and then potentially have that move. So that's one also to keep an eye on. Again, I'm waiting for price to go below that level in there. Then the other Aussie pairs, like looking at Euro Aussie, again a little bit of a range in here. Potentially go there or a little bit more to downside. I don't really want to be involved in here. I think price is in the middle. I want to see price getting a little bit closer to the extremes before looking for a possibility. And maybe let's see if the Euro Aussie reacts a little bit to the Aussie dollar tomorrow, or if the Euro Aussie is going to wait for the ECB as well to then see some momentum on Thursday. So that's something to bear in mind in here as well, to pay attention to. Then you have Pound Aussie. Like Pound Aussie finally managed to go all the way and take these highs. Right, so that was something that we were looking for as well, with potentially price to feel a little bit more this structure to the upside. Again, I'm not really interested to buy or look for any setups in here on the Pound Aussie at this point. I'd like to see actually price maybe going a little bit higher, getting a little bit above this structure before looking for anything whatsoever in here. All right. And now going into the yen pairs, why can we had that move to downside? Yesterday we actually made a scenario of prediction that maybe price could break this low and then go to the upside, getting a little bit closer to that level and then moving down, like getting a little bit closer to this zone. But price just reacted perfectly. I think it stands out to you, like this supply level, it was really good yesterday where price reacted from. And yeah, no, this level is still fresh, that's true. But price managed to break that level. Like I mentioned that I wouldn't really be looking for any sales before price breaks this level. Now that it broke, it potentially we can just continue, or we can have a little bit more of a leg up, break out this high, and then have the turn. Again, we'll see what's going to happen in here. It's an important break of a trend line on the Aussie yen. We'll see what's going to happen from here. Yeah, but that was a really good reaction yesterday. Now the dollar yen, like dollar yen as well topped a little bit at around that level, so it reacted from that zone. It's really good, just above this high. So that's a really good level price is reacting from. Kind of left this supply left behind. Price created a little bit of this level, now price reacting from it with that level still fresh in here, and it managed to break below this trend line as well, and seeing some sell pressure. Like basically already reacted to a little bit of this initial range was up all the way until here, and yeah, with a new low then eventually can go even further down and potentially go closer to this level in here. Now is it going to be from here, or price is going to go slightly higher? That's something to bear in mind as well, to pay attention to as well tomorrow. Potentially you can have that sell pressure in here on the dollar yen, which goes in alignment as well with the euro yen. Like, and this is where actually I cut my short way too early. Like I sold it in there somewhere close to the highs yesterday. I did survive. I was about to get stopped out, to be honest, but I didn't because one second, I cannot draw anything. Yeah, for some reason I cannot do any drawing. Oh my god, just realized I'm not showing anything. Sorry guys, I just realized it is black. It's dark. Second. Why is this keeps happening? Oh my god. Yeah, just to rewind. So euro dollar, this is the one that I want to be seen being taken, and then price perhaps could react from here or from there. So that's the one that I want to see. Again, that was engulfed to the upside. So that's one. Yeah, sorry guys about that. A pound dollar actually broke that level. So that may be still in here, or potential fake out this was one more time and push to the upside. So that was the move from today, first break. Then this was euro pound with this potential scenario, perhaps filling out this range into there and maybe continue to the downside. Aussie dollar also breaking this low, so getting potentially a little bit closer to this level, and that's what I was looking for as well. Then New Zealand was somewhere in here, right? New Zealand as well, to see if it's going to kind of test this lows a little bit more in here, potentially to move. Then Aussie yen, which is continue again. That was the supply that I mentioned, sending out. Then price reacted and now moving to the downside, breaking this trend line in there. And now we are at the dollar yen, which is this one that we're looking for, and price getting really close to that zone in here. Right, so that may be more sell pressure to look for in here on the dollar yen. And then euro yen, that was the one that I was mentioning. Finally, it's working. So price actually, yeah, right. So kind of selling in there, I basically close everything in here. And now price actually just moving to the downside, filling out this compression. And they are looking for price actually eventually to go into that structure in here on the euro yen. So that's a little bit of the next target that you're looking for price to, this was already an engulf, and price eventually to go closer to that structure in there. Yeah, that's a little bit of the zone we're looking for. This can even be as an engulf down as well. It's already kind of an engulf down as well. And yeah, that's literally just full compression here. Yeah, that was a really nice move. Next, we're going to the pound yen as well. So pound yen is a little bit more bullish just because of the strong pound opposite to the euro. Like this is another example that you can take advantage from when you are looking at this the correlation between euro and pound and so on. Like when you notice that maybe the euro is the weakest one, and if you're looking for shorts across another currency pair, you can maybe try to short that specific pair. Like if you're looking for longs, maybe try to go long on the pound, something like pound, Aussie, pound, CAD, or something like that. Like so, again, pound yen, still respecting this level in here. Let's see tomorrow with the CPI if there's going to be more movement in here. Again, I don't really like the highs at this point, still really close to that. We could have a new fake out in there before anything else, so we'll see what's going to happen. And then you can look at CAD yen as well, which with the news today make a good move. It's still respected that low without turning a little bit. And now we're looking at the CAD, right? And our CAD, that was the one that we were looking for yesterday. And yeah, I didn't manage to get the short, unfortunately. So it was the news again. We talked about this one. So it mentioned that there were like 9 bullish candles. Today it finished again still positive, goes into 10 bullish daily candles in a row. But we definitely are turning. Like even in this 4-hour time frame is the first time that it properly break in here. Price came all the way. It got really close. I don't really think it actually touched it. It got really close to kind of that supply in there. It just went above this high into this basically gap in here when it reversed around between these two levels. And yeah, since then, there you go. Like it created a bit of range, but the break was just too quick without any retracement. And yeah, I didn't really manage to get in. Meanwhile, price just fell, and it was already way too far away from the levels that I wanted to enter. And now it's a different type of trade, because now it's in this range in here that perhaps you can find an entry for price to continue to move to the downside, unless you just wait for price to get closer to those highs, which it's not guaranteed that price wants to go there. Like, and you have all this target, right? That was eventually the target as well that you're looking for, and potentially for price to fill all this structure. There's maybe this level in here that's still fresh. Aside from that, there's not really much going on in here. There's this level, there's this level, and there's not really much. Price is basically free to just make the move all the way to the downside. All right, so that's basically what you're going to be looking for in here on the dollar cut. Yeah, there you go. Nice move again. This was what we have been waiting for the last 2-3 days, but unfortunately I didn't manage to catch the short, at least just yet. I didn't. We'll see if there's an opportunity for tomorrow trading session, but again, finding more bearish signs in here. Looking at the other CAD pairs, like we had also EURUSD, basically created this structure in here. Yesterday reacted from there, basically creating a double top or something like that, and now today it just faked out again. It's another one that I didn't really like the level where price reacted from, so I didn't really manage to get involved in as well. and then price just turned, right? It just turned, and now basically filling out this range and now continuation to the downside. That's basically what you're going to be looking for. Price may create a little bit of structure in here before continue to move to the downside, and eventually you're looking for price to go all the way until there, so that eventually is a target, or price just decides to break pivot and retest something in here. That can be also a possibility. Then we have also pound CAD. Right, so pound CAD came all the way to the other extreme, right? It came all the way into here. That was the zone that we were looking for as well. Again, it was with a lot of bullish momentum in here. 1 second, let's see if this drop. Okay, finally. Yeah, so it just reacted from there and started moving to the outside, kind of reacting a little bit from this level. We'll see we have a lot of space to go. This is one of the last barriers in here, to be honest, to see if price actually holds or not. Otherwise, price is free to go all the way until there, and eventually can even go further down as well. Because everything has been super compressed on the way up. But look at it, it looks like that is with a lot of print in here. Yeah, another cat pair that just turned. Our Forex squeeze continues to go slightly to the upside, or at least to test the highs, looking for price eventually to get a little bit closer into the next level, which is somewhere around here. And again, it's not drawing. It's a pity. Yeah, somewhere around a little bit higher, where I'm going to be looking for. Gold, which finding some more bullish momentum as well. So basically we're testing this structure in here, and now looking for price to go and retest those all-time highs. All right, so that's a little bit of where I'm looking for gold to go towards to, at least to fake out these highs in here. Silver most likely is also moving to the upside, which yeah, can continue. We'll see how price may react actually from this structure. Price reacted really nicely from this level, start turning. So that's a good target for these lows, which potentially can challenge a bit more to the upside. A lot of compression in here, so perhaps price may want to go all the way above this structure in here. Then we have oil, which made a really big move to downside yesterday night. For some reason, not really sure what the catalyst was in here, but it made a really strong move to the downside. Second. Okay. So yeah, it's starting to find a little bit of buy pressure. Again, price can even go slightly lower. You haven't really had a break to the downside, to the upside in here, but you can start seeing a little bit of more buy pressure as price is getting closer to here. All right, so price can eventually do something like that, react a little bit, and eventually make another leg down and turn and move to the upside. All right, so that could be a scenario to look for in here on oil. Yeah, that's something that I'll be definitely looking for, and Brent most likely is doing something similar. Yeah, fill out this range is already going below that, so somewhere around this structure. Again, similar price may have this structure in there. Reason it's not working again. Yeah, but similar scenario. Perhaps price can react from here a little bit and then go somewhere at around this structure. Yeah, not sure why it's not working though. right? It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's basically my take in here. Right, so to recap, okay, so wait a second. So to recap the live stream of, so to recap today's live stream, in terms of where we're going to be looking for the best opportunities for tomorrow's trading session, we are still looking at the potential sales on the dollar index. Today it started to see some selling pressure, but price respected the next fresh demand zone that was in here, and price moved to the upside now in the evening. Eventually, when price now breaks this low, I'm looking for price to finally fill out this range. Now we can still create new highs, all right? You can still go slightly higher before moving to the downside. I actually didn't really like to see the longs this morning on euro-dollar because I was still looking for the euro-dollar to break that low on the left side, which is about to break now. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. And maybe that's why dollar index is still making this last push to the upside before a potential turn. So that's something that I'll be looking for, a potential fake out of the low on the left side on the euro dollar, and maybe some pressure or some buy pressure to the upside on the euro. Even though the main opportunities for the euro dollar are going to happen then on Thursday with the ECB. Looking at the pound, so we had unemployment today in the UK. It was actually from 4.1% to 4%. So it was a decrease in unemployment in the UK. And we actually saw a little bit of volatility initially with some buy pressure. Now in the evening, again, price pushing to the downside, but it's still respecting the low. So it's not really moving anywhere. Tomorrow we have CPI in the UK, again, expecting to see a decrease in terms of the normal CPI and core CPI overall. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of volatility we are going to have. Again, this brings some divergence between the euro and the pound, because the news are not related to the dollar. It's actually news in the UK, then on Thursday news in the eurozone, which can create some divergence in here, which can actually give the good opportunity on the euro pound to look for those potentially long in here to fill that space, and then potentially we'll see if it respects or it moves to the downside. Again, the yen pairs, that's something that we are looking for as well, potentially more shorts on the yen pairs, which means that more strength on the yen index. I could still see price maybe retracing to this level and then moving to the upside. We fake out these lows yesterday in the evening, and then price just found some more buy pressure. So again, looking maybe for sales again on the dollar yen, euro yen, Aussie yen again moving to downside, and so on. And then in terms of CAD pairs, like in Canada, we had CPI today, and there you go. We finally have this momentum to downside, something that we're looking for. There was a big push up, and then price just reversed in a basically V shape. It was slightly harder to find an entry in there, but we finally have this move to downside. Now we still don't really have a bearish daily candle, which if it finishes like this, it's going to be 10 consecutive bullish candles in here, but you start seeing that sell pressure. So that's going to be perhaps a continuation, like maybe retest the high to find more sell pressure, or price can just retest this previous level support resistance and continue to the downside. After that, we have a clear level that you are looking for as a target as well. In terms of the US indices, you saw a lot of sell pressure across S&P, Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones, and even on the DAX as well. Like, so S&P, basically good PA at around this size. I'm not really sure if this is going to be already kind of a top or not, or price will eventually retest. I don't really see it as a top. For now, I think there's not enough liquidity in there, but good momentum to the downside. Nasdaq, we have been talking about retesting a little bit more of that structure on the left side, those highs. Good reaction as well, move to the downside. Perhaps you can retest these highs once again and eventually fake out, since we have a double top in here. And then, yes, then maybe turning completely. And the Dow as well, we saw a lot of sell pressure. And you can continue to see a little bit more of a move to the downside. And the DAX, similar stuff. So we're looking for that PA. Price now reacting from the demand that basically managed to break those previous all-time highs. And we'll see what's going to happen next. But can be also more selling pressure in here. So it's interesting to see that now we have a little bit of selling pressure on the indices. I'm going to be waiting to see price retest a little bit back to the highs to find more selling opportunities or not in here. And that's basically, yeah, that's basically it. So tomorrow again, just to recap one more time, potentially sells on the dollar, longs on the euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on. Looking at euro pound as well for potential long until that level, and cat pairs potential continuation to find more selling pressure, especially on the dollar card, and the yen pair is also something to be aware of. Just to finalize in terms of the oil saw a little bit of more selling pressure, and today finally started to see some buyers jumping into here. I'm looking a little bit more of this type of BI, basically price create new lows, getting a bit closer to the demand zone until finally starts turning to the upside. So thank you very much, guys. Again, I stream every day at 7 p.m. So join me if you would like to do the pre-market analysis with me, looking for opportunities for tomorrow trading session. I think preparation is key in terms of to create consistency and to be proactive and not react to what the market is doing. So yeah, feel free to join, to talk with me and to analyze the market together. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much. Obrigado. Bye bye. I'll see you tomorrow.